With the international break ending today, right? Manchester United is here to play a team called Sheffield away. And Rasmus Hojlund is fired up for that fixture that is obviously going to be played in between Sheffield and Man United this Saturday. Welcome to United Matters channel. How was your night? Hope you guys are really having a wonderful morning. It's morning, a little bit chilly in my country, but it's a season that you obviously get to know about, that it's chilly and will continue to be chilly no matter what. So smash the like button, comment and share if you're really watching us for the very first time. Endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a day. Rasmus Hojlund revealing to us why he likes to play a lot with Rashford and why he made the decision to come to Man United amidst his age to a big club that has a wide void of a number 9 at Manchester United. Mason Mount, Gary Southgate has gone ahead and told us a little bit about why he's not yet back into the English national team. And lastly, we are going to discuss about Scott McTominay, revealing to us why people refer to him as a centre forward, yet he prefers to play into the central midfield. Rokan David is my name. You can as well call me RD, and here we come to obviously take you to where we want your brains to be in as far as Manchester United is concerned this morning. As the takeover process continues, the board meeting is going to be really sat. The board meeting is going to be held on Thursday, and it's going to vote on to whether Sir Jim Ratcliffe becomes the new owner of Manchester United or not. We are waiting to see what the results are going to be, but it looks like he's going to be really up there in the sky because the Glazers hold the majority shares of Manchester United, and they're having Class B shares that are like twice the shares that the 31% are really holding in that club. Now, let's start it off with Rasmus Hojlund, and this is what he had to say as a player of Manchester United. Rasmus Hojlund, he said, I think I'm good enough to be at Manchester United. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone to United. I would still be at Atalanta. I understand that if I wasn't where I need to be from, I'll be here eventually. I'm a short-term investment, but also a long-term one. So, this boy is really ready, and he has a very big heart. I take you back to why I really regard him as a brave player. To the scenario of Julian Timber. Julian Timber was a player who Erik ten Hag nurtured from the academy of Ajax and promoted him into the first team. But when it mattered most, and Ten Hag told him that I want to go with Man United, Julian Timber said, no, I'm not going, because he was threatened by the former Dutch national team, that is Louis van Gaal. And he never obviously came in through to play at Man United, but Erik ten Hag wanted him to come in through and play a vital part into that team of Manchester United, right? Now, when it came to Rasmus Hojlund, he obviously came in at Man United, and you know whose boots was going to fill. It's all about Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the goats of the game, and he came in through to obviously become the number 9 of Manchester United. And he came up with a lot of criticism. They've gone ahead to buy him expensively, £72 million being put onto the price of the lad. He came in through and obviously got criticizes that they needed a proper number 9, something I never obviously really had to buy, because when you look at Erling Haaland at Man City, he's, I think, is it 22 years of age? He came in at Man City at the age of 21. And he's scoring goals. And I told people what any number 9 needs, like Rasmus Hojlund, because he's a clinical number 9 and he has better outbeats than Haaland, is to create chances for him. And you've seen it that for the 3 goals that's gone ahead to score, 2 of those have been assists from Marcus Rashford, and 1 he capitalized onto that slip up by Sanchez at the center line at Old Trafford and made it 2 when you're playing Galatasaray. He has showed you that I'm having what we call the box presence of a number 9. What you have to do is simple. get me that ball. And this is where the English media gets it wrong, because United never went in for Harry Kane. I watched this player before he even came in at Man United. And from the 13th of March, I've been watching this man. I'm talking about 13th March of this year. That's when he was so much linked to Man United, and I watched him score his hat-trick on his debut for Denmark. And I said, all what we need to do for this young lad is to give him chances. But when you read his statement, that he's a short-term and long-term investment, he shows you that he came in at Manchester United with a huge heart. You know, he knows he can thrive at the club of Manchester United. That is it. And you need players like those, like him, that can obviously take on the mantle and obviously fill the boots of legends and feel like, I'm here to obviously take this club to the next level. That is Rasmus Hojlund for you. He has 3 goals so far, and I'm telling you, he's going to get 20. If you remember, when I was obviously talking about him, when was it? I think when before he even signed, I predicted that he's going to score 20 goals a season, because he has more attributes than Anton Martial when it comes to who a number 9 should be in the Premier League, you know? And you've seen it that at least every game he is nearing scoring a goal. But what is preventing him to score those goals is because we're not getting him enough chances as a player who leads the line of Manchester United. Then he went ahead and added and said, it's always like that when you don't win. You have to be disappointed, especially when you're Manchester United. It's not like you get discouraged, because you always have to focus on the next game, but you have to be disappointed when we don't win. This is really a player that is Manchester United like, because if you are not Manchester United player, putting on a United shirt and being a player of Man United is different. They are 2 totally different things altogether, because if you are a Manchester United player, you must be having that never say die attitude in you, and obviously feel disappointed every time you really lose the game of football, and after losing, you find means of making it right. That is what Rasmus Hojlund is doing at the club of Manchester United. That's why, to me, I was pro and ant against the statement that Onana really put up, right, when he costed us a goal against Bayern Munich, and he came out and apologized that he costed the team. I said it's good to own the responsibility, but how many times is he going to come out to own the responsibility when he costs us? He went ahead to cost us a goal against Galatasaray. Did he come out and really say an apology? No. Against Crystal Palace, same thing. So I think the best way to obviously apologize is to do a different thing altogether, like not do the same thing or repeating the same mistake. And this is what Rasmus Hojlund is saying, that all what we have to do is we are feeling disappointed, but we have to go on for the next game and focus on it and win. And that next game is against Sheffield that you're going to play on Saturday, and he's really fired up to obviously see to it that he gets us to that win that we are all thirsting for here at the United Matters channel. Then he also added and said, I've been happy at Man United since I arrived. I'm aware that the results have not been there, but I'm sure that we will resume our progress when we return from the international break with new energy. So this is the caliber of player that we really want. New energy, new ambitions, progress continuing is what United is all about. And that comeback from Brentford, from that Brentford loss, and then we converted it into a win, where Brentford were numerators for a very long time of the game, and we are denominators. Then we changed everything and we became numerators, and Brentford became denominators. That shows you exactly what we are all about. So in this life of supporting Manchester United, this was expected. And the good thing, why I believe that new energy is going to be shown on the field of play, is that now we know that by the time we play on Saturday, a decision will be taken by the board onto who is going to obviously be running the club of Manchester United. And if at all he's being Sir Jim Ratcliffe given the mantle because he wants to start imminently, that will obviously pump new energy in the players, because players are worrisome. You know, they've been worrisome of who is going to be the next manager, because new owners are fond of coming in through to obviously get in new people at the club. Now, some players, we believe that Ten Hag has been really pivotal and they believe in him, might have lost their breath, you know, and their urge to play for this club because they are waiting for this. Now, let's wait and see how they are going to obviously work out themselves and really focus on the game on Saturday, because we all know how hard it goes when you are playing for a team like Man United and the ownership is being shaken. Now, when the ownership status is being really leveled and settled, we'll get to know exactly what the problem of this team is, because Sir Jim Ratcliffe is coming in through with new energy and new things. So I believe this energy that he's talking about is obviously going to do the needful of the international break, and it's going to promise to us to come in through and obviously put in the huge energy. And I think it's obviously going to apply to other players, and if that unit converges, the best result will come out. Then Hojlund has gone ahead to say about Marcus Rashford, a man who has been really pivotal in his first 3 goals. He's gone ahead to score for Man United. He has gone ahead to create 2 out of the 3 has gone ahead to score. Hojlund has said, I really like playing with him. He's a world-class footballer. He's a player I've been watching even though he's only a few years older than me. Since his debut against Midtjylland, he's done well. He's become a great player. It's great that we are teammates today. One thing I want to clarify to me, Rashford is not a world-class player. What makes someone world-class is consistency. You know, Rashford has gone ahead to perform at good levels. Like in the Champions League, there is a time he scored 6 goals, you know. He's a good player, you know, but he has not yet become a top, what we call a world-class player. He's a top-class player, but not a world-class player, because world-class comes in with consistency. When you look at the players that have been called world-class at Man United, their consistency had lived for some time. You know, players like Ronaldo, he turned world-class because of his consistency. Players like Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic, Patrice Evra, Edwin van der Sar, David De Gea, David Beckham, very many players have been, Roy Keane, you know, Michael Carrick, you know, players that put in performances that were really great. Mark Wayne Rooney, great player, became world-class because of his consistency. But Rashford is a good player, but all he needs to do is not to have seasons on and offs. His inconsistencies are really great. He should stop blowing hot and cold. He should be blowing hot all the time, you know. We never know what's going to happen for Marcus Rashford, because even last season, we never saw it coming. But after the World Cup, he blossomed into a player that he was until the end of the season. But right now, there is a lot lacking in his game that is obviously putting us United players, fans, onto question marks that maybe he's obviously going to slip up. The best 2 seasons consecutive he's ever going to have was the season of 2019-2020, where he scored 21 goals, and the season of 2020-2021, where Marcus Rashford came up and scored, I think, 22 goals. You get? And he skipped out the season of 2022, of 2021, 2022, and then the season of 2022-2023, he thrived up. People like Mohamed Salah, even when Liverpool has a bad season, he represents, you know, he represents and he shows up to the occasion. That's exactly what we are calling in for a player like Rasmus Hojlund to come in, like Marcus Rashford to do. But to me, he's not a world-class player. He's not a world-class player, if at all you really know what the meaning of world-class is. Then we go to Mason Mount and what Gareth Southgate has gone ahead to say as to why he's not part of the English national team. Physically, he's getting back to his level. He's been an important player for us, and we like him a lot. But I don't think he's done enough to be in front of others for this moment. And this is where you ask yourself where sometimes Gareth Southgate's mind is when he's putting out such statements. Now, what has Calvin Phillips done? What has Calvin Phillips done to be into that team of England? You know, what has Calvin Phillips done? Nothing. By the way, I think Mason Mount has started more games at Manchester United than the total number of games Calvin Phillips was going to have to start for Man City. That is it. That is it. Mason Mount has played more minutes at Manchester United than Calvin Phillips has going to have to play at Man City. That is it. Yet, this is the second full season of Calvin Phillips at the stadium of Etihad. So it shows you that there is favoritism at the at the national team of England. I don't agree with what he's telling us. If he obviously brought this statement when Calvin Phillips was out of his team, it would have gone ahead to be valid. But with the people like Ward-Prowse performing at their levels and they are not into the English national call-up team, then that is really, really diabolical. It's insanical that a manager is trying to put in a statement that cannot even match what he's doing. He's contradicting himself with his words and his actions. That is it. So I don't believe in what he's saying. I believe the fans of Man United, or what we want to do is to see to it that things go on as planned. And what's the plan? The plan is simple. The plan is simple. Let Mason Mount start. Man United has been injured. And it's a blessing in disguise that is not up to the international national team. Let him train with the club of Man United. Players resumed training yesterday, and other players are going to join them today, tomorrow, and on Wednesday, and then prepare for the game of Sheffield. That's it. So, but for that guy, Southgate, he's beating about the bush, and contradiction is what is fronting into the statements he's obviously making. Now, Mctominay says, people always say you played as a striker when you were young. That's not true. I played 2 games with Warren Joyce because we didn't have a striker. Every time I score a goal, people say that. But I've never been a striker. I've always been a midfielder, a number 8. That is Scott McTominay for you. So Scott McTominay is trying to let us know that for him, he's not a number 6. He's a number 8, you know. And we've always seen him that he plays better when he's being played as a number 8. But sometimes Erik ten Hag plays him as a number 10. But all in all, it's one of the things I want us to address today, that let no one lie to you. And let no one tread lies. You know? Let no one tread lies about Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay is not the perfect fit at Man United. He's not the perfect player that you always want to be having at your club. That is it. He's not into that quality that should be at the club of Manchester United. Let's all agree this, you know. I know people who are really Scott McTominay sympathizers, but let's all dance to the same tune when it comes to Scott McTominay. We need better quality players like Amrabat, a Casemiro, that level. You know, I know it's said that who pays the piper controls the tune, but this one is different. Scott McTominay is not at that level at Manchester United. Though he came out and scored a brace, that doesn't keep him into the levels of obviously being at the level of Manchester United. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Tell me your thoughts about Rasmus Hojlund fired up for the Sheffield tie after the international break. And remember, he put up an assist in the game he played for Denmark, where they scored 3-1 against a certain team. And then, what do you make about Mason Mount's not being on the England national team? Is that reason really valid by Southgate? And lastly, what are your thoughts about Scott McTominay saying that he's a number 8 and he has never played as a striker? May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David remains my name. All RD. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in on a daily. And also, don't forget to really subscribe and hit the notification bell. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. I'm out.